What is up, y'all? Welcome on back to another recap and review of Dandadan Season 2, where we are jumping into episode number 5 today. So, if you have not caught up through episode 5, Season 2, this is your opportunity to push pause and then come back once you have caught up with Dandadan, because I will be talking full spoilers from this point forward. So that is your final warning. Season 2, Episode 5, We Can All Stay There Together. Seiko's group tries to exorcise Jiji from Evil Eye as they eat dinner, with Aira joining them. As they attempt to exorcise Evil Eye, they are repeatedly opening the crashed dummy guy, Taro's face, to see if Evil Eye is still there. It's a funny way to start off the episode. The humor in this portion of the episode, which I will discuss a little bit more as we move through this episode, the humor here is not so bad. I do enjoy the humor here. It works very well in the context of the scene. The rest of the episode is much to be desired with the humor. Like I said, I will jump into that a little bit more as we progress through this story. And then we have this dinner scene, which I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a huge fan of this particular scene. It didn't really work all that well for me. It's just so chaotic with everything going on between the people, like arguing, and they're also lore dumping you at the same time, with how Mantesian lives underwater but breathes with lungs, and then like he also needs milk to survive. Y'all know me. I praise the humor, I praise the storytelling of this show. And to me, it's just there's too much going on in this particular scene for me to really enjoy it. Maybe if I rewatch the episode, I might have a different opinion about it. But with the humor and just trying to track everything that's happening in this scene, it was too much for me. It was just like I couldn't focus on one particular part of that scene, so everything else was just muddied. Seiko and Manjiro discuss Evil Eye's possession when Jiji is apparently freed from his control. Seiko realizes Jiji and Evil Eye switch places when he is doused with either hot or cold water, forcing the group to carefully monitor Jiji until the exorcism is complete. So Jiji is back, but apparently he can change back and forth. Hot water changes him to Jiji, and cold water changes him to Evil Eye. Jiji does act silly here once he finally returns, but then when Granny Seiko tests out the water on him, Evil Eye is pissed and threatens to kill them all, which was funny. And then we have a subsequent scene where everybody is practicing their tossing ability with hot water in a thermos. So I have two separate thoughts on this whole scene. Loved where they're all practicing with each other and they're practicing the whole tossing thing of trying to douse him with hot water. That was awesome. But when it comes to Jiji and his super silliness and just overly goofy personality at the very beginning of the scene was a huge turnoff for me. I really did forget just how silly and goofy of a character he could be, because he didn't come in on season 1 until the very end. So you didn't get a ton of time with his character in season 1. So now that we're getting a taste of his character again and how goofy he is, it's a little bit of a turnoff. I'm not going to lie to you. It's just going to be one of those things that really holds this show back for me, being a top tier anime. When I don't love everything about it, this might be the one thing that does hold it back for me. Momo, Okarun, and Aira then escort the mantis shrimp and Chiquita home as the mantis shrimp decides to go by the name Peeny Weenie. Look, when I heard that for the first time, I had to rewind it and then watch that scene like 2 more times. Peeny Weenie, I lost it, okay? Like, super silly, left field for sure. But overall, I thought that moment was funny. It caught me off guard more than anything. But Peeny Weenie, yeah, that's Seiko and the group visit Jiji's parents, during which Momo and Okarun hold hands. This is a very nice moment between Momo and Okarun, with them holding hands, sort of. They're in the car. Okarun is so shy and timid, and Momo seems ready to show more affection towards him. He freaks out when she tries holding his hand, and she's definitely nervous, but she's more outgoing than him, so she's ready to just hold his hand, period. And then, of course, we get Jiji, who just ruins it all, like he always does. But I mentioned this on the last episode where I said it's nice to finally get some movement in the relationship category between Okarun and Momo. And now it seems like we're continuing to take some steps forward where she is openly trying to hold his hand. Dude, she's dropping the breadcrumbs for you. She's putting out the vibes. It's time for you to take those vibes and run with it. But he's so scared and so timid that he almost always cowers when there's any type of affection there between them two. Everyone in the Keto family has been arrested, but Naki, she's on the run, super pissed off about everything that transpired, and it's revealed she's an alien. And what is probably the most unsurprising reveal of the show so far is the fact that Naki is an alien. And I think once you go back and look at some of the context clues of this show, it's kind of obvious. You know, you go back to the first episode of this season where these characters are so different in comparison to the other characters in the show, and it's just like, there's something off about y'all. You're definitely not human. So I don't think this is overly surprising that she ends up being something other than human. But regardless, it's still a nice little reveal for this show. And it definitely makes me curious as to where this propels the story forward. What's going to happen as we move forward through season 2? Is Naki going to turn into being the big bad for season 2? And then maybe Jiji comes in there and has to stop her? I don't know. But I'm definitely intrigued by where this storyline is going. And then sometime later, Momo invites Okarun and Aira to a sleepover to help monitor Jiji, and they comply. Totally forgot between watching season 1 last year and then starting this season, where I think this is maybe the second episode that she's in for this season. I think she was in it on the last episode, but this is really the first episode that we get a little bit more of Aira. I totally forgot about the square relationship that Momo, Jiji, Okarun, and Aira have in this show. It was one of the more compelling aspects of season 1 that I really enjoyed. Being reminded of this square relationship, I'm like, oh, hell yes, this is really going to be intriguing. It's going to be interesting and probably funny at some point. But I can't help but think this is going to hurt the relationship of Momo and Okarun as we move forward with this season, because obviously there's going to be some tension between all 4 of these characters. And I don't know, I'm a little scared of what's going to happen between Momo and Okarun. I just really enjoy that relationship so much that I don't want to see it tested yet when they haven't even become official. But at the same time, I do want to see what kind of story and narrative elements this square relationship brings to Dandadan. Taro then frees Jiji and they enjoy dinner at Seiko's home. When Okarun passes a bottle of soy sauce to Seiko, a droplet falls on Jiji, allowing Evil Eye to take control and then absolutely wreck shit. So once Jiji gets a touch of the soy sauce on him and Evil Eye comes out, he devastates everything. I really love the cliffhanger aspect to this episode. It makes me want to watch episode 6 almost immediately. And it makes you also wonder what's going to be different from this point forward. We already got a little bit of a battle between Gigi/Evil Eye and then all the other characters. So where does this lead as we go through season 2? Are we going to have another big ass battle between all of these characters? Is Okarun going to turn into his demon form and take on Evil Eye and maybe, I don't know, get his ass whooped again, or maybe beat Evil Eye this time? It's going to be interesting to see where this story goes. But overall, this is the silliest episode of the season so far. While some of it does work for me, there were several things with the silliness that just didn't work for me whatsoever. I don't mind the humor. I've praised the humor on just about every single episode of just season 2 in general, but season 1 as well. And a lot of the times, the humor just lands 100% for me. The silliness aspect of the humor in this episode, and it's mostly Jiji. I think if you take him out or correct that and then just talk about the humor of every other character and whatever's left in that episode as far as the humor goes, I think it works, and it works very well for me, and I love it. But when you bring Jiji into the mix with his, I don't know, squirmy baby talk, it's a bit of a turnoff for me. It was something he did last season, and I thought I would feel better about it as we got into season 2. That's not the case so far. But with that being said, I do like the calmer aspect of this episode. It's kind of a regroup, take a breath style episode before the very end, where Evil Eye is back to wreck shit. Definitely my least favorite episode of season 2 so far. But I want to throw this out there. It's not that I didn't enjoy the episode. I still think it's a really good episode overall. And would I watch it again? Absolutely. But if you're comparing this episode with the previous four, it's definitely my least favorite. And I do remember, I want to say it was episode 3, maybe 2, where I said we're getting a run of back to back episodes that are just absolutely phenomenal. It's inevitable that we are going to get a couple of episodes where we're going to get some slower, just okay episodes. And I think we're in that small little run here where we've gotten 2 episodes back to back that are just not as good as the previous 3 episodes. But again, I still enjoyed the episode overall. It's literally just the silliness of Jiji that turned me off of this episode. The stuff with Okarun and Momo, they're finally holding hands. That to me is just great. Anytime we revisit that relationship and kind of develop it a little bit more, flesh it out, I just love it. I love anything to do with Okarun and Momo, and that relationship is just so well written from episode 1 up until now. So I am so excited to further explore that throughout season 2. But if they could just change one thing, it would be Jiji. Jiji and his silliness. When he was serious for the first few episodes of this season, like, dude, I was on board and I totally forgot about how quirky he is from season 1. I was really enjoying Gigi's character, and especially when he got Evil Eye possessing him. I don't know what's going to happen for season 2 and how I'm going to feel about Gigi's character moving forward. But guys, let me know down in the comments below how you feel about episode 5, how it compares to the other episodes of season 2. And while you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps us out. But with that being said, I appreciate y'all joining me for this recap and review episode, and I will catch y'all next time on the next one. Laters.